Hello, Kaya. Hello, 40 gems. So yeah, we're taking Kaya for the 40 gems for sure. It's very, I think the 20 gem line on rares becomes an interesting question about win percentage. Like, what is the win percentage increase of taking a Grotesque Demise or a Savage Smash type card here versus 20 gems? But 40 is a snap gem value. And I'll leave it even if we end up white-black, we probably start her on the board anyway, but I'll leave her there as a reminder. Do you think player quality in best of 3 draft is higher? I'm a newish player and hesitant to try it out. Also, hi everyone. Bash Bob, good question. If there's a quality difference, it hasn't been so pronounced that I can just say, oh, yep, for sure. It's one is way better, way different than the other, but it feels pretty similar to me. If you are feeling like you're not the best limited player, you're new, you're struggling, you're not necessarily winning at 50% or better, then you do get a little advantage by playing best of 1, where you will be ranked on some level against people of similar rank. So if you're struggling, there's basically a skill tax in best of 1 is what I'm saying. So if your skill is under 50%, that favors you. If your win rate is generally above 50%, that is a tax on you. If you're below 50%, it favors you. It's not extreme now. It used to be pretty extreme because they matched on rank first and foremost. Now they match on record first and foremost, but they try to do it among people with the same rank, as I understand it. Another thing to note when you're considering the best of 1 versus best of 3 question is, what was I think? Oh, I had a point to make on it. Now I've spaced on it. The difference in overall match win percentage. In a best of 1 match, your game win percentage is the same as your match win percentage. In a best of 3 match, your game win percentage hypergeometrically impacts your... Is that right? No, that's not. Is that a hypergeometric situation? I don't want to use wrong math terms. But anyway, obviously your win rate in a single game has a different impact on your match win rate in a best of 3 as it does in a best of 1, since you give yourself... I might be able to beat a top pro 1 game pretty often, but it's going to be very tough to beat him 2 out of 3, So anyway, Bedazzle or Gate Colossus is rare power level, but Bedeck is an excellent removal spell, and it's 20 gems, so hard not to take that, although we do know we live in a Gate Colossus world, so I could see us regretting not having that Gate Colossus, but especially when you get a nice playable rare like this, you're going to take those gems. And now I'm looking at... Fireblade Artist to go along with the Bedeck Bedazzle, or Flames of the Raise Boar to keep us monocolored effectively. That Bedeck can be a red-red spell, so Flames being single red is somewhat tempting. I don't see anything else in the pack that draws me in, although we should consider wheels like Bladebrand and Rakdos Trumpeter and Vampire are all likely to end up wheeling out of this pack. Maybe even the Panther. I don't know. Some of these low-end black cards and Orzhov cards are likely to wheel. And yeah, chat is like 60% Fireblade Artist, and I'm with you. I think especially expecting that we'll at least get some like one of these two on the wheel makes me want to hedge toward Rakdos and see how that goes. We have the always awkward Cry that doesn't feel like it has much of a home in Limited. We do have only 2 of our uncommons, so let's check our print run. Fireblade Artist doesn't care what it's throwing at Oppo if it's the final 6 points of damage or whatever. And also... Rakdos just really wants 2-drops, like you're often playing Feral Maca in Rakdos and stuff, so just a 2/2 haste, upgrading that Feral Maca to give it haste is a significant upgrade, and then this closing power that it offers is just kind of gravy. Oh, yeah, this looks like the shark. Somebody, you've already looked it up, Shark to Crab. Okay, so good to know. Shark to Crab out of the pack, where, because Savage Smash is very good here. You could definitely say, like if you took away these two, and we're just looking at it as this, Savage Smash becomes the pick here, right? To go along with Bedeck. It's only when you consider that we have the artist and we think we're going to be wheeling some stuff that I start to want to branch elsewhere. Kaya, there's some support for final payment. That also goes with Bedazzle. Thank you, Hexstar, for the resub. Oh, no worry, Hexstar Dragon. I did not expect to... I am not invitational worthy yet in terms of my... level of influence, if I am an influencer or whatever. Yeah, maybe someday, but I am not. I don't feel snubbed at all. I had no such expectations. Looks like people want to lean towards the payment. Interesting. Orzhov is a good place to be. We have a Kaya to bring in out of the board. Fireblade Artist, while great in Rakdos, we don't have to marry that. What am I saying seriously? Fought Fools? That I'm not invitational level influencer? Yeah, I don't think I am yet. I mean, if that's what you're asking about. I'm not sure what you think I'm joking about. I'm yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you feel I'm worthy. I mean, I suppose they could reach out. It's just there's a long list of more prominent streamers and Magic personalities that I think they would have gone with over me. I'm also not a very diverse person, if you know what I mean, and I don't resent that at all. I just think I think Magic needs a wider representation in big invitational events like that. I think it's a hugely important, impactful, and great. And so I just think I'll say that it would have been a delight if I had been invited, but it does not surprise me at all that I was not. All right, we'll take final payment and see about that. Sorry, this draft is getting sidetracked with chatty stuff here. Would I ever do commentary like Marshall? Sure. It seems like, again, they're leaning away from going with maybe a rougher talent like myself and more toward that has a deep Magic knowledge, and they're trying in some cases lighter Magic knowledge for deeper talent at broadcasting. And so again, I'm open to anything. We'll see what Wizards is doing in terms of how they're approaching their future here. So we've got a lot of red in the colors, but we could really go either way here. We're 100% on Imp, huh? I guess it is just the best card here. There's some other, you could take a Recluse if we wanted to hedge back towards a red direction, but that's not a very important card in that color. And we certainly know we're black, so it's definitely correct to take the Imp since probably need to take the Juggler here on the same philosophy that we at least know that we are black, and Blade Juggler is the best black common. Plague White, unfortunately unlikely to wheel out of this pack. If it did, that would be amazing. And this Thrall is also very signally, though, and we have final payment. That being said, though, again, Juggler goes in anything we're doing and is very, very good, so we have to take it. Even if you thought... If we were 100% sure we were going to end up in Orzhov and we thought Thrall was going to be the best, we could take it, but we got to take the thing that we 100% know we're playing here. We have a first Ill-Gotten, second Imp, first Grudian. I feel like Imp and Grudian are fairly replaceable. But if we do any kind of aggro black, we'd like the IGI. And aggro can even be Orzhov. There's aggro black Orzhov, so I like taking the first IGI here. Now we have a Dead Revels that would keep us very flexible, or a unsurprising Carnival Carnage, as we know that the bots don't really take this card very highly. and I don't blame them. It's not like a first pick type card, but we could absolutely justify Carnival Carnage on power level. But Dead Revels is super powerful, and again is just mono black, right? So I like this card, but we should take the Shore playable that for the same reason we took the Juggler earlier. We can keep a lookout. And here's the Trumpeter we thought would wheel. Looks like Blade Brand was taken out of this pack. There's a Drill Bit we could also consider. I think Drill Bit is okay, but this is just Trumpeter. Rafter Demon. Nobody's ever been impressed with this. Never fooled anyone. We kind of gave it a whatever when we saw it. In fact, it might be better to just take a Debtor's Transport. Again, on the theory of it goes in any of these decks, although this is more of an Orzhov deck. I don't really want to play a 6-drop in Rakdos. There's some support for Exposed to Daylight. That is the kind of thing where we could also end up in Rakdos splashing Final Payment with Expose and Kaya to bring in the board. Panther again has some support as well, because it would go fine in an aggro low to the ground Orzhov deck. It goes fine in any Orzhov deck. All right, we'll take the Expose. Get one of those in the board. Oh, here's another one. Oh, maybe this is the pack I was thinking of. Okay, well, there you go. Even better. I was a little surprised the Blade Brand wasn't there. I figured they'd take the Trumpeter over the Blade Brand, but then I was off on my packs. So I'm going to go with a Trumpeter here. If we do end up Rakdos, we'll be happy to have that, and we might here. Like, we took this Final Payment, but whatever. It looks like the bots are telling us to be in Rakdos. I'm gonna choose not to play Thirsting Shade. We'll get some Vault Progress. Orzhov Locket, maybe? Turn target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. That's fine. It's playable, which I'm happy to see out of a rare, because we do want to get, I want to take the gems if we can. And for Rakdos purposes, there's nothing else really here. We could look to splash the Exaltation, but this is playable and 20 gems, so let's snag it. Not particularly playable and 20 gems, but also not particularly important cards for our deck. We'll probably get something in either Blood Mist, Rudian, or Guildgate on the way back. Maybe even a Sphinx, but we don't really want that. So we're going to take gems. And I'll even leave it in the main, because we could still look to splash white. But mainly that's a gem pick right there. Here's a way to splash it. Boy, not looking very Rakdos on the way back, is it? Looking very Orzhov on the way back. And we also still don't need to marry Rakdos. We could, if we... Unfortunately, like the Trumpeters are very Rakdos. The red activation makes this pretty underwhelming in an Orzhov deck, but maybe we just want to take the hint here and take Oligarch or Ministrant and be open, especially since we have the Lumbering Battlement as a playable and Expose. We have some stuff that we could bring in. So I kind of like leaning toward Orzhov, so then it's a question of Ministrant versus Imperious Oligarch. And we do have the one Juggler, which partly makes me want this, but Ministrant is a pain in the butt. Yeah, double Ds. And it allows us to potentially use Revenge to kind of win out of nowhere. You generally don't use this for Revenge, though, so... Yeah, we're looking to go Orzhov here, so my question, or at least take Orzhov cards out of these packs that we're seeing. And I'm just curious if people want the Grandma or the Ministrant. It looks like people are on the Grandma train, and I'm down with that. We have Juggler. We have a Juggler, and we want more Jugglers, and Grandma's great for that. Phantom likes Ministrant better, but I'm down with 2-drops, especially since I'm not in love with the Trumpeter as a 2-drop for this type of deck. So if we can get better ones, that's great. This probably can wheel the Dead Revels, actually. So this makes me want to take the Messenger out of this pack, not because it's better than the Dead Revels, but because of how bots value it. I expect that we can get the Dead Revels back. Summary Judgment leapt right out at me, and then I saw the Thrall. So what do you think? Do we need removal more, or do we snap up one of these sweet 5-drops? Yeah, they're both good, Phantom. And the voting showed how close that was. And, you know, one thing to remember when you get a close call like Grandma versus the Ministrant there is that when it's that close in your head, it probably means the impact on your overall win percentage is pretty low. I mean, I talk about how rare drafting pack 2, pick 1 over taking something playable for your deck is you know, better EV. So imagine actually what the difference is between 2 great cards for your deck, you know. Okay, people want Thrall, I'm with you. I'll take that. We could grab this Angel. We could grab this Guildgate and be able to have a kind of free activation on the Trumpeter. I actually think I like supporting Trumpeter activation more than a Blade Brand that's not doing a whole lot in, or not doing quite as much in kind of an Orzhov build, and an Angel that, you know, it's not getting, probably not going to get us much more life than a Grasping Thrall does anyway. So I'm going to take the Gate. There's another Revels. Take a Scavenger, but that might fully wheel. Yeah, I don't want either of these. We just take a Revels here. It's just, we want 2 Revels. We've got our 2 Revels, and maybe we'll end up with access to more than we want, but good to have them. We'll take another Expose for the board. I don't want the Screaming Shield, I don't think, here. Kind of goes at odds with where we're headed with this deck. Sentinel's Mark doesn't, though. We'll take that. For the main. All right, we did wheel Blood Mist Infiltrator. We rare drafted out of this pack, and in fact, we're going to play the rare. Yeah, we'll certainly grab a Demise if we see one. Here's 2 different 4-drops, but Carrion Imp is a non-bow with Dead Revels, so we can't really do this for ourselves, but you usually kill enough of your opponent's stuff to get them. We already have one, though. I don't know if we're ever going to want to run 2, and we might be better off just getting some variety in our 4-drops rather than taking the slightly better one, but one that we're not hoping to play all of anyway. Still, I like Flyers. We'll take it. Dead Revels did indeed wheel, but I don't think we want a 3rd, and we may find ourselves in a spot where we decide that we are happy to have a Knight, so I'm going to take it, and we'll leave it in the main to remember that it's there, but probably cutting this before the end of things. Scavenger or Vampire. I actually think I like the Vampire better. We have a lot of 4s going on, and our 3s are slim. I mean, we hope that this Juggler is a 3, but that's really it. So, get in the Vamp. Chunk Controller, get in the board. We'll lock it. I don't know about Kaya main. I'll put her in to consider it, but I tend to like her out of the board more. Here we have a Grotesque versus Juggler versus Gems consideration. Now that we, like, if this were pack 1, pick 1, the Nikya would be a no-brainer for me because we wouldn't know what colors we were in yet. But now that we have a deck that we're solidly in, These are two highly impactful cards, and I'm willing to... We've gotten good gem value out of this draft. I'm willing to take a deck pick here over Nikya for gems. And we are pretty low on removal. There's there's a leaning toward Demise. And consensus is Juggler is like your best black common, but... Demise is what this deck needs. Phantom, I'm going to go for Demise, but I am not doing so with the claim that I'm certain that this is a better gem value. I still think it may be better for our gem EV to just take Nikya, but I do. I want this. I want this deck to be great. So let's take a great removal spell for it here. And here we have a same pick with no rare to tempt us. Juggler versus Demise. So now it's second Juggler versus second Demise versus first white. We don't take the first white. This is going to wheel, and we're going to be so happy about it. It's going to be great. Can't wait till this white wheels. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, I'm on the Juggler train now. We wanted to get that removal spell. We have one, but I definitely want a second Juggler here, and would like any more that the bots are willing to send us. Concordia Pegasus is probably something I'd rather play over a Trumpeter even. It does a similar job of being an evasive way to turn on a turn 3 Juggler. These will probably both wheel, and we can decide from among those. Nothing else much here anyway. Drill Bit is being voted for, but Drill Bit should wheel. Yeah, I guess we take Racketeers. I'm not super impressed with this card, but I don't want it over I don't want a third Trumpeter over it. And we're off of Rakdos. This train is long gone. Impassioned Orator is again a 2-drop. I'd rather play in the deck than a Trumpeter. Maybe just get out of Rakdos Guildgate altogether. Blade Brand is solid though. Might be. I think Blade Brand will wheel. I think Blade Brand will be in the pack. It's tough to say, but once the bots settle into colors, they are really hard pressed to do something like, oh, Blade Brand. I'm not going to play this Coral Commando, so I'll take the Blade Brand. If they're blue, they'll take the Commando. You know. Looks like yeah. So it's important. Given that, I'm with you. Let's take Orator and try and wheel that Blade Brand. There's another Sentinel's Mark, but we have a sweet final payment. 2 is perfect, so glad to get a second final payment here. And white, awesome. I don't think we're playing the kitty here, but we're not really doing this. And we're not really doing this. Debtor's Transport or kitty. I guess we're more actually likely to play Debtor's Transport than the kitty cat. We're doing fine on 2s. I'd rather play the Trumpeter than the cat, for example. So given that I'm already looking to cut Trumpeters, I guess we shouldn't take a 2-drop. We're just not going to play. Yeah, like that's a good point. We'd play Transport overnight. So we'll do that for now. I don't think we'll play either, but we'll see. And here we could take a Locket. We already have an Orzhov Locket though, right? Let's get that in here to remember we have that option. So that makes me want another Bloodmist Infiltrator. Add to our 3s. Here it is. We couldn't wait. Here it is. He's back. And the Drill Bit did come back as well, and we can take that. Our 20th Trumpeter. Over Roustabout, we won't play either. And the Blade Brand came back. All right. A million Exposes. And a last pick, Thirsting Shade. This deck looks solid. We got 100 gems on the grind. And a solid deck. Here, I don't have my spreadsheet open, so I'll just do it this way. And we're definitely going to be straight. We can just cut the trumpeters, cut the Rakdos gate. And see how that starts to look. See, that makes me want to play that. Probably one of these gets cut. 17 creatures currently. King Biggie asks, I haven't played MTGA for a while. Where did the vault progress go? If that's gone, I might install it again. So King Biggie, that was like the deal breaker for you somehow? I'm curious how, as a game designer, I'm very curious how that feature was such a powerful emotional point in the experience for you. But it's there. It doesn't like a lot of. So what'll happen is if you get to 100%, then the vault shows back up, or the treasure chest shows back up and starts shimmering. And if you hold over it, it'll show you your percentage. So some people don't crack their vault so that they can see their ongoing percentage. But I don't know. To me, it's a fairly non-issue, a big non-issue either way. So I'm kind of whatever on it. Still have a lot of like. Let me cut one of these. One of these here. Oh yeah, there is a new system for that. King Biggie, what I've always said about pain points like that, though, is understand that they fixed that pain point, but they just shifted the economic burden around in the system. I mean, you're like, you may be happy. Yeah. So great. If it's great that your pain point is removed, but wizards will do what they must and will to maximize profit. Sorry. What are we doing here? We have 11 non-creatures. What non-creatures can we cut? Probably can cut revival. Probably even cutting the transport. This goes back into the 2s. We are at 41. We are at 41 cards here. Let's get rid of these now, so we're not distracted by that. Unfortunately, no on-color gates, and I guess we want black more with the deck. Thank you. We'll go to deck building. King Biggie, and you say a way to get gems is great. It really is. Let me finish this draft, or let's finish this deck build here, and then I'll speak to the gem grind importance again. Yeah, I definitely want some gates here, but we got what we got on that front, and let's look at our numbers again. So this is a 14-10. Maybe we want to try and bring more creatures back. Maybe even a trumpeter over something. We probably need to cut like a mark or a blade brand. I think I'll cut the blade brand, and we'll remember that for green decks. Yeah, drill bit could definitely go. Good call. If we take drill bit out, we could put back in something like a second infiltrator, or even a single trumpeter, and we could play that gate. I'd like to avoid that, though. Yeah, maybe we could. The thing I was thinking is I just wanted to be high on the creature count, given the double revels, but I also wanted to be high on a creature count that enables a turn 3 juggler, and we don't really have any more support for that unless we want to run a Rakdos Trumpeter, which it wouldn't be the end of the world, but is not super impressive. This is a 15-8 though. So let's we could also run Kaya, but again, I just feel like Kaya is best against very specific decks, aggro decks that are trying to get you dead fast, and I don't like your main. So let's see, what do we let's what represents this deck? I guess it's got a couple of jugglers. I'll throw that. Yeah, Kyle likes me this week. Double D's is saying not a fan of Infiltrator. Yeah, I'm not either, but I mean, are we playing Kaya? You want to just run Kaya? I don't know. Kaya is so underwhelming to me over a thing that can actually attack for 3. All right, fine, group. I will play Kaya, but I'm gonna, we'll see how often I would rather she were just a Blood Mist Infiltrator. All right, she can be if she's gonna be the main deck, she can, try a Kaya. I don't. But chat really does, so I'll give her a shot. Oh, before I jump into a game, I was going to say, King Biggie talking about how the changes appeal to them, and the addition of the gem grind, I think, is kind of what puts me over the top as an infinite player, as a relatively infinite player. I think, well, infinite means, when I say infinite, I mean literally that I'm just, my expected gem production is higher than my expected gem costs. And we may be there now at a 60% win rate and with the gem grind. So it's been a real gift to limited players on Arena, the new economic system, because I'm just getting so much extra value, extra gem value out of this. And let's update. Okay, RNA best of 3 record is 0-0. We'll go to the battlefield view and throw down. Right on, G-Grap. Hope you spend some time with me in the future. But yeah, a lot of options out there, a lot of great perspectives you can get. Play first. We got to mulligan this. We want some action, but that's obviously keepable. Right on, G. Glad to hear that. We're going to bottom the land. If we had a land, we'd want more swamps, but ideally we find extra action. Well, our first question Again, I never expect the asking this type of question to be some kind of end-all, be-all answer, but here's a data point. Kaya on turn 3, are we going to be happy about that, or would we just rather have had an infiltrator here? Infiltrator looks good at the moment, but is probably going to be blanked by the board pretty quickly. So this is not me concluding that we'd even rather have the infiltrator here. This is like so. We'll see.
The crueler the opponent, the sweeter the victory.
Yeah, there's always the misplay against Planeswalker aspect of Planeswalkers. We get to keep attacking with Grandma. Trade with that Grudian on the attack or the block is fine. And if we play the white, we can't leave up either of our removal spells. But given that the only thing threatening Kaya is the Grudian, we can do that. No, Death Touch does not work versus Planeswalkers in that way.
Pack your bags and hit the road.
Yeah, I didn't know there were. It's certainly possible to invent the rules text that allows a creature to kill a Planeswalker in one blow, but Death Touch, the ability, does not inherently have that capability. Well, that was not attacking. Well, we do have a removal for the spirit, but we'll go ahead and turn Grandma into a 1/1 spirit here, demise the Spirit of the Spires, and keep attacking. Can't even cast this yet. We're just going to demise the spirit.
I hope you said your goodbyes already.
Although we'd be beaten down pretty hard with a Blood Mist Infiltrator right now. Kaya's hasn't really done anything yet. Let's be clear about that. I mean, I guess it got Oppo to attack into Kaya, so that's it. She's affected gameplay in that way for sure. Just the Plague White. And then we'll drop our own messenger. Sea of Fiddles. I acknowledge that, King, that she had that effect, but I am not yet convinced that in this particular game she has been better than just what an Infiltrator would have done. I definitely like her in this matchup. Like, if we had not started her main, I would bring her in anyway, because of the things some of you are calling out right now. Her ability is good against Graveyard Recursion and against the Afterlife tokens. So not surprising that Ghost Lady is good against the Ghost Guild. Yeah, we don't have the full story. We don't know what's in their hand. And unfortunately, we drew a Plains. Would love a Swamp. At least turn this on. And debating final payment ahead of attacks, or yeah, because we want this messenger to be able to attack. So I'm going to final payment, but we'll leave our and then we'll we can actually use Kaya on the spirit. How about that?
can rest in peace. Just do it somewhere else.
Barely escaped using up a timeout or whatever we call those things. Here we'll... Wait, I'm gonna make sure I can't just actually kill them. They've got 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close, but not quite, so we'll exile a couple more here.
Pack the bags and hit the road.
Kaya getting it done. And just in time, too. Woo! 4. I'm glad they showed us the gate Colossus. We can take that into consideration during sideboarding, like bring in expose. Card 3 or less. Bringing it back. Not really. We've got Dead Revels for that effect. Good drill bit. Do we have anything that exiles? I mean, that's a thing as well, but we have Kaya to also do that. So if we can, that's good news about Kaya as well. In her use case in this matchup, she can actually get rid of that Colossus. Yeah, G-Grap is calling that out right now. I don't think this is a Blade Brand matchup. I think we're just trying to figure out how many exposes. I think bringing in 1 makes sense until we see something beyond. Like, if they have some IGIs and the Colossus, we could see bringing in more. But I'm going to bring in just the 1 for now. And 14 creatures. I'm actually just going to cut this Racketeers, I think. I don't think it's going to get in much in this matchup. Hey, Wujo, what's up? Yeah, I'm going to give that a try. I'm not 100% sure about that cut, but it seemed like a creature that wasn't doing much in the matchup. Yeah, they're weak, but I don't quite feel like I can cut those low drops. That's the problem. We'll keep this. Sky Tether is a concern about exiling things with Lumbering Battlement. We didn't see one in game 1. We'll think about that, though. There are times where you absolutely want to exile a bunch of stuff and make it huge, and there are times when it's like it's too risky because of enchantment-based removal. I was going to lead with the Orator, but now that we've drawn the Juggler, I'm going to lead with the thing that is most likely to connect next turn. And there you go. Orator's not getting through if we had played that. Double Jug. Like, a Lumbering Battlement, exile just 2 things, and it can actually block and eat Colossus. That would be a battle I'd like to see. The Lumbering Battlement versus the Colossus. Watch that from a distance, a safe distance. Final Payment and Impassioned Orator are play we could make here. Doesn't look like we're getting the Juggler through for damage. Or we're not getting damage through to activate Juggler. We might bluff it. I'm not sure they would block the Spirit... the Juggler with the Spirit, and if they do, we could Final Payment in response. It's somewhat of a gambit. Let's do that, because kind of what I would do anyway here is Orator Payment, and the Spirit of the Spires is good, and the shields are down for the doggy. So let's attack in with everything. And then we may just connect and then have the juggler option. But if they block here, we can still execute Final Payment and Orator. But we give ourselves a chance to trick him. If we had just done it pre-combat, then the juggler is almost certain to get through. But I'm okay with the line we took of trying to get him to let that go through. And we'll pay the 5 to target that. We'll get some life back through the Orator coming up. Wujo is asking, have you seen the newest bundle in Arena? We talked about it a little earlier. 50 packs plus cosmetics, but only available through cash payment. What do you think about adding to Arena store product that can't be bought through gems nor gold? As long as it's only cosmetic, I'm cool with that. They can do whatever they want as far as I'm concerned to do the cosmetics thing. So, a lumbering battlement battle here. But let's start with Pegasus to activate Juggler, and then we'll throw down the Plague White. Oh, let's go like this. Ooh, yeah. A lot of jugglers. It's a very entertaining game. I mean, the magic might not be entertaining, but look at all those jugglers. Grotesque Demise, you say. We can probably make some use of that. But I think we want to make maybe just make a huge lumbering battlement of our own. Again, the risk is something like a Sky Tether just ruining us, but Sky Tether isn't super common in Orzhov. I think most of how Orzhov would kill a lumbering battlement, or would nullify a lumbering battlement, would be through death, right? So drop this. If we swung away, they get to eat one of these, and then we could battlement with the rest. But I don't think we need to throw away creatures. Oh, we could. No, I don't want to do that. We'll just send in the Pegasus. And battlement, and what all do we take away? Definitely the jugglers. See, these aren't getting through their battlement anyway, is the thing. But I'll leave the Pegasus since it is. This is a bit all in. But I think if they have the Sky Tether, like, we get blown out even by a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and risk getting majorly blown out. Because if they don't kill the battlement, if they don't kill or nullify the battlement, we're just going to win with it. And if they do, we get all that stuff back, and we get 2 juggler triggers. It's possible I was supposed to just even isolate the Concordia, you know, exile the Concordia Pegasus as well. They are showing 12 toughness, or 12 power, which is not 13, so the attack is clear. But since we have instant speed removal, I kind of hope that they do get to 13 power 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we can use instant speed removal to really blow them out. Hey, Draconis. Welcome. That's a good sign. We could play the Plague White, but what is it really doing? I would rather just have both removal spells up than put a Plague White onto this board with that Lumbering Battlement over there. Yeah. That's pretty annoying, but we actually can do something about that. Trouble is now, these two combined do deal with it, and although maybe we can go to 15, we make this a 15 power, and then it actually does get the battlement and the Colossus. And then we would get all this stuff back to boot. So we do have that. Oh, and Dead Revels. Yeah, we definitely want to do it now. Interesting situation. See if they go for the double block. Nope. That's actually a little scary, because it means they may have something for the battlement. Although, of course, if they eliminate the battlement, we just get a whole flood of stuff to the board, and that does nothing for us. Again, I'm going to leave both of these removal spells up. Probably just demise that at end of turn. They're down to one card anyway, and this certainly isn't demising much else. Maybe getting another chump here, we'll see. There it is. So if this works out, if we draw land off of either the jugglers, we get to like replay the battlement anyway. It'll be crazy. No, we need to. Never mind. The Dead Revels cost too much to do it all here. But we'll order them like this, I guess. Not bad. I think we can work with that. Oh wait, we don't even have two in the yard yet. We can even wait on that, right? Then just go white and vampire. This could also help us just go wide around a replayed Colossus if they play a gate here and put Colossus back on top. With the Sentinel's Mark and Dead Revels at the ready, I'm doing a no-math alpha here. I don't know. I mean, no math attack with everything. I really don't care what happens to any of these creatures now. And now I like mark on the Orator, make them use Doggy to save the Thrall if they want. And if they do that, then Grandma lives. So... this is a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success. Battlement and Juggler seem good. Maybe I'm just supposed to hold that in case of disaster. Like, if they cure his wrath right now, I'll feel silly about just throwing out my spells like it doesn't matter. All right, good start for this deck. Lumbering Battlement showed how good it can be with the right setup. Yeah, Battlement's fine. Like, it's fine. It's a 4/5 Vigilant for 5. That right there is just fine. You know, it's not great, but it's fine, especially in white. And then the fact that it has some upside like that gives it some high upside, but just again, be super beware of playing, especially against Azorius. Azorius is so full of ways to punish you for hiding things under a battlement. How would they punish that? How would Azorius punish that? Oh, by putting Lawmage's Binding on your battlement that you put a bunch of your actual creatures under. If this had a swamp, it would be a Sneep. It doesn't, so this is kind of like a mulligan anyway. We'll get to 2 swamps eventually, probably. But I'm going to mulligan this, look for something a little better. This is barely better, but I guess it's a little better. And... no. If we had a 2-drop, I might keep the Juggler, but we don't. It's not like we're going to cast that Juggler on 3 with this hand. Did not want to see the second Dead Revels here. Looking at a turn 5. Now we're looking at the floor of the battlement coming up. I will cast it if there's nothing else to do. There's 2 Dead Revels, so hopefully it dies. We get it back and do fun stuff with it later. We could demise Grandma. But I'm going to say no since we have the battlement. I don't want to use Demise when we have a creature-based solution ready to cast. All right, Juggler follow. Oh, if they had the Juggler follow, that would have been quite a sequence there for Oppo. They didn't. We're going to play Pegasus, and it stonewalls Grandma nicely as well. Can still hold up this Demise in case of Thrall. There's another grandma. Still not going to worry about it. All these things that the demise could take out the Plague White, but I may save just the Sentinel's Mark for that. Ooh, Juggler. No, let's do a Juggler then. It gives him an attack, though. I'm going to wait, actually. I'm going to say no attacks, and my line is going to be to try to Sentinel's Mark against the Plague White. And then have Grotesque Demise available on top of that. So, Grandma's not attacking suggests they don't have tricks particularly on their front. They could have Grotesque Demise that they are choosing not to use on the Pegasus, but I'm going to give this a try. We're setting ourselves up. This is the nature of combat tricks. You could 2-for-1 yourself, but you're trying to effectively 0-for-1 them, you know? So it's a risky situation. But looks like we got paid. And then we have a nice threat in the Pegasus from here. Not going to demise anything. I'm just going to cast a no attack Juggler and keep the Pegasus back on D. It's a great body. Made ourselves a chicken. It doesn't have vigilance, does it? Oh, it does have vigilance. Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought the vigilance was a one-time main phase effect, not a constant effect. So excellent. We have a. It's still a chicken. It's just there's another dinosaur in play. Thanks, into Traptor. I don't think I would have checked if you hadn't said that. So I'm glad I didn't miss that. Yes, we will make this trade as well. Because this will give us a reason to attack with Pegasus and do the Dead Revels thing for a couple of creatures. Alright. Tough to get value out of that card against Orzhov, but they did. Seven mana, we can bedeck something and have 5 left. If we Revels now, where it's a 4 mana thing, so we can follow with a 3. And don't have anything to follow if we do that other than a Demise. I think we should just double removal here. No, maybe we Revels and single removal. I like that. Revels and... Well, we could get the Pegasus back, and it actually blocks all those grandmas. Let's do that. I like the Juggler a lot better, obviously, but Pegasus is a lot better right now. I was going to use Grotesque Demise, but this actually just kind of stabilizes things except for the Panther, unless they want to really just throw a lot of damage, throw away creatures to get damage in. Also, I'm hoping that with them down low on cards, they don't just have a snap answer to the Pegasus. And even if they did, we would take 7 and then try and stabilize with battlement and stuff, so it felt like a safe line to go for the Pegasus and get it back out there. No, I was considering taking that offer, because we are going to need to do something to get rid of it eventually, but it's probably going to be Demise or Bedeck. 7 mana. Again, they showed no removal, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that we're good on that front. Attack with the Pegasus. and play the battlement and try to have Bedeck available. I don't think we want to Revels here. There's only the Blade Juggler. All right, auto tap is even being sensible about things. Yeah, I hear you calling. All right. We'll see what they are willing to do to trade off with the battlement, because we again have the Dead Revels to get it back yet again. So next time we'll try to get battlement and juggler, assuming Oppo does some multi-blocking, because we're gonna take out the Twilight Panther and make him use multiple creatures. Are they getting their juggler on? If it doesn't really matter. If they have juggler, they can cast it anyway, so I'm just going to take it. They may do some blocking that allows our double removal hand to blow them out. So let's see if that happens, because we've got the Vigilance as well. Vigilance feels so good in these spots where you're trying to bait blocks and everything. And they need to put 3 creatures on this. There. I'm going to use Demise because of the exile prevents the spirit token. Vampire looking a little silly. We'll try and find a... Well, I don't know. It still does a fine job of just trading off with... well, not Plague White, but with attackers to keep a presence on the ground. Don't want to Revels for those 2 things, so we will Vampire with Bedeck ready. And did they take a life payment? What did they? I didn't see. Well, we'll trade off here if they attack it with anything on the ground. Actually, the only thing we trade off was the Panther. So, not going to Bedeck the Plague White. We'll just take all of this and we'll Bedeck the Panther, actually. That will both clear the way for the eventual return of the battlement, and... Ooh, if they have a creature here, that's not the case. Let's see. I thought they were gonna... Oh, man. Alright. It's gonna be that kind of matchup, huh? Still think we want to attack with the Vampire and gain the Sure Life. And then 5, 8. We can't Revels, and unless we get the Spectacle going, we can't Revels in battlement. That's unfortunate. And they for sure have to block here, so it's not like we're gonna get this through. Okay, so we don't get the battlement back in play this turn. We get 8 total mana. We spend 4 of it on the Revels. We have 4 left from what we draw here. Pegasus does a lot of work. We might just have to leave the Juggler down again and get Pegasus to... Get Pegasus to get up in the air and also to hold back Grandma. Again, Pegasus just looks like a very strong card here. Yeah, we're have 9. Oh, sorry, we will have 9 mana. I miscounted. Great. Okay, so let's go. Let's attack then. Math is hard. Oops, wrong one. So we want Battlement and Pegasus, because I really do want that presence in the air, and I'm happy with a 4/5 Vigilance for now. Could have on Pegasus keep up Bedeck, I suppose. But I'm not. I can take 3 in the air here with the Pegasus coming. Well, there's no way to, like, get them, because they're just going to block with the Panther and try Death Touch, so I'm going to use Bedeck now, and then the Battlement can attack without worry unless they've drawn something and they've got, you know, removal in their hand or something. Alright, Chumps. Seeing Chumps is good. I'll sandbag 1 land here, but it's not that important to do. We just don't have much in the way of card draw from here. I guess we have another Juggler. Infiltrator also not doing too much here, but if we got some steady flow of creatures, we could decide to go for it. If they were at 9, it would be more appealing to kind of go for an Infiltrator type win than they are here sitting at 10. And with Haunt and Oligarch, they represent a 1-for-1 with the Battlement, so I'm not going to make that offer either. We're going to see what we can hold out for. We get Final Payment. Ill-Gotten Inheritance would help. Kaya would be fine here. Start working on that angle. Yeah, King points that out at the same time. Jinx King. The Thrall starts to be a problem, but I think it's a problem we have to take. I mean, we could start an Infiltrator plan and assume that Battlement and Pegasus will hold everything else off, and that we can sacrifice a white to get an Infiltrator through. That's not going to erase the Thrall, though. It might. Chump once. If we get a steady stream of creatures, yeah, they just end up being able to go around us, though. I don't think that we can. I don't think that's a path to winning here. So I'm going to say no attacks. Yeah, we've been a little more floody than they have, but it's been a good game. Been heavily about graveyard recursion. Yeah, this is the problem. Well, we're going to give him 5. And hope we find something right now for that Thrall. That qualifies. And can we Infiltrator sack white? Then we have Thrall on Thrall, Battlement on one ground force. Pegasus in the air, but then the rest of it just kills us. So no, we don't have that. We don't have Battlement attack either. That's really good. Good for Oppo in this spot. We're just trying to attrition each other to a win one way or another. Yeah, it was an expensive draw too, but when you've got 8 mana lying around, might as well. Just gonna say that an IGI might help us close the gap. Let's see if it does. Oh, come on! Feeling good for a moment. For one moment, was feeling good. Block all the biggest things and still die? I think that's where we're at. Just making sure. Yeah, alright. Never mind. Well. Get out. Get out. Get in. Get in. Get in. Drill bit, maybe. Maybe cut a Sentinel's Mark. It's been fine. Good card, decent card, but I need to cut something, and that feels like it's a place that could give. Maybe Orator. Yeah, maybe dropping so many creatures, though, is making me nervous, but I do kind of like the Locket battle. 12 creatures with 2 Dead Revels, that's what worries me. Could cut a Dead Revels, but that seems really important. That, you know, it was a pretty grindy result. Could put in something like a Knight of the Last Breath if we think it's that grindy. Yeah, if we're going a little more in the control direction, we could IGI out. I'm going to leave it in, though. I'm going to run with this. See how this goes. All right. Oppo's turn to mulligan. I'd love to see a juggler, especially if Oppo does nothing to put anything in the way. No juggler, but a play. And then IGI looks pretty good on turn 4 here. Maybe it's a draw first matchup, but I still just want defensive. I would rather just apply pressure. We're both going to draw cards eventually with what we've got going on. Maybe I'm just kind of lucking out here with their draw, apparently, but... Well, gave him something to do. Hey, Wilson. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Well, I think we can manage that. I'm going to go with the Thrall. The Battlement has a higher power, but Thrall deals some damage when it comes down and is an evasive threat. Super annoying. Just wildly annoying. Oh my god, annoying. This is the best this card has ever been against me, literally. Because I got to decide now what we find to be the most important. And I think it is casting Battlement and exiling Oligarch with it. I think I like that. No mana spend, and 3 cards up. Very suspicious, but what are we going to do but attack? We got our Rebels back up in case of shenanigans. And in this case, we'll give up the Pegasus. Fair point. Bell Hunt is a consideration for sandbagging something and or emptying our hand so that it doesn't have an impact. But we have Dead Revels, so we can't just machine gun our hand to the table. It's got too much value built in. Alright, here comes Blade Brand or whatever. Or are they literally just chumping here? Could be a chump, that'd be great. If they're at chumping phase. But Blade Brand's fine too, we just revel it back. Yeah, that's fine. Get those both back, and Messenger. Now at least we have, if they Bell Hunt, we can ditch the Pegasus and it's not like a huge loss. That's annoying. Can we beat it? If we Battlement, that is going to be better than the Messenger. So we'll do this and get rid of the Messenger, and that actually presents lethal. So then they have to top deck or no, I guess they'll do a trade. The Inheritance will make it not lethal, but it's still not worth exiling the Thrall over. Although, again, if they kill it... actually, yeah, it is. It's the same amount of damage, and if they kill the Battlement, the Thrall comes back and drains them for 2. Again, it risks Sky Tether. I can't come up with the the play besides Sky Tether that punishes going all in on the Battlement here. Yeah, they have tokens to chump and everything. But we're tying up their mana. Oof. Brutal, but we are pressuring that pretty heavily. I'm going to save the Pegasus. We'd rather have the Demise available in case they go for... If they don't play a land, they only have 1 activation. Yeah, we can exile a token before blocks, but maybe just have to exile the Oligarch here. Any reason not to exile the Oligarch? Not really. We should just do it. It's kind of the point of the card. We're going to go full control so that we can final payment the defensive token they make, and then we win, hopefully. Nice. And we can make a removal spell to unblock. So let's bring in the third of these, because they showed 2 IGI and the best enchantment in the game in the format. And maybe you just kill the locket. Junk Troller. Now we're gonna kill their enchantment. Don't need to worry about defending against it. Now the Junk Troller is nice to have on board against all the dead rebels too. You can respond. I don't think it's quite worth it. I'm gonna keep this. We're on the draw, and we have action with white and Bedeck, and then obviously any land gets us to IGI, and white gets us to the rest of our hand, so... And these are kind of later effects anyway. Oh, we're not... We kept full control through sideboarding? That's funny. You can take full control off when the game ends, Watsy. Alright, deck, give us some land. I'll even take a swamp if that's what you got for me. Can't attack anyway, so we'll wait. I'm going to use it, actually I'll do it, because of that, I'm going to block, then if they do anything, at least the Plague White will finish it off. Probably should have just done this on my turn when they were tapped out, if I was going to do it. Just a little bit fancy play syndrome here. I think I have, like, Sentinel's Mark. That's why I blocked with the white, to kind of ensure it would work. Well, that's an uncomfortable turn 4. Lack of land, lack of white could doom us in this one. I like the keep. I think we had to risk it, but we're getting our answer cards here. Yeah, that's it's not going to get it done, I don't think. I think that was our chance. Like, if we draw any land there and we can at least play an IGI to offset theirs, I like our chances. Or, I start feeling some hope, but feeling pretty hopeless given this. Nope. Magic Gods did not want it to be. I don't know if we have pulls that can get us out of this at this point. But we'll hang on for at least another turn here. Like, because now we go down to 8. This is effectively 7. They're almost at activation mana. So in fact, I do think we have to, like, chump here. Well, too bad. We had some tools to take on what looked like to be a better Orzhov deck than we had, and almost got there with it. But Game 3, the Model T mana system came up and kicked us in the butt. GG. Let's jump right back in. I'll update this record. Snack on some nuts and berries while we wait. Thank you for the follow. Wow. 3 for 3 on Orzhov mirrors. You know, just like in pod. Gulius, I have no plans to, but if chat wants to, we'll draft some M19. I don't think I want to do it on this account. If you are someone playing on a budget, excuse me, if you're playing Arena on a budget and you like limited and constructed, I would really advise against playing in limited events for anything before GRN. You want to be focused GRN forward so that you're building towards the sets that are still going to be around at next rotation. If you use a lot of your resources right now to acquire cards from pre-GRN, you're going to be using resources on something that's only going to last you a year as opposed to 2 years. Hey, look at this. Kaya gets to come down on 3 and -1. I've always said Kaya is amazing.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
And yeah, given that, I should have attacked with the Pegasus. Well, maybe I still can.
Isn't good enough.
Oh, good. I had been thinking I wasn't going to attack with the Pegasus to protect Kaya, but then realized I didn't have to. To be fair, again, we have faced our third Orzhov deck, and Orzhov is the deck I would bring Kaya in against if I wasn't main decking her. We will... I guess we start by going up.
Want something banished? Funny, that's what I do.
I haven't seen it this heavy, Orzhov, actually. I know that it's drafted more than it is in paper and everything, but this has been... I'm going to say no attacks so that if they remove one, we can still block the Vamp. But this is unusual, you know. Yeah, they have to. But if you care about standard, is what I said. You know, if you care about limited and standard, you want to be looking forward. I would expect that Arena Eternal would be supported in paper if it's something that the players want. I mean, Wizards of the Coast is in the business of making you all happy, and they have mixed success at that, right? But if Arena creates a new Eternal format and is popular, then I think it's inevitable that we see it in paper, because players are kind of flocking to Arena, and they're going to want to be doing what they're doing in Arena when they transition to paper. Hey, Fawn. Okay, let's see. Let's focus on this turn. We have a Carrying Imp to play. We have stuff to exile.
You're not welcome here anymore.
We have Dead Revels, so maybe I don't want to do this for the life. But we're also probably not going to use the Dead Revels on the Pegasus, so I actually am going to use it on the Pegasus. We got the Pegasus back a couple times in the other games to handle spirits, but in this case we actually have the Messenger for that job. So we just have a better Pegasus to go get anyway. I'm going to risk the full-on attack here. Yeah, when we talk about doing things in paper, I tend to mean, will it be supported by organized play? Will it be something that stores will be encouraged to run, you know?
You want something banished? Funny, that's what I do.
Yes, how far back indeed. All right, picked up a win here. That's kind of what I mean. I'm not sure. Does that matter, though? Look at Brawl. Didn't WotC try to push that pretty hard? Yeah. I mean, they tried to push stuff, but they're ultimately gonna listen to players and not push on something that is not getting a good response. We can probably assume a target for expose, although maybe we shouldn't. We only have the one IGI. There's no sense assuming they have a bunch of copies. Right on, East. Back to you. So do you want to bring anything in this matchup as of yet? More things for the flying battle, I think. Probably better than the Racketeers here. Probably cut an Infiltrator for maybe even a Blade Brand or something like Revival. We were low on creatures though now, huh? Oh, 13. That's all right. I have not removed it before, yeah. But we can revisit the main deck after this if we win. Oh, did I not? I didn't update my record either. We're like 1-1, right? Revival. We're running out of it. Revive. Shit. I'm going to put it back in and submit because I ran out of time. SOI forward was coded into Arena, but that's old code and not polished, not heavily polished card implementation, so I'm not sure they would just want to run it out there. Oh, darn it. We were trying to get rid of you. I'm going to keep this. Do we keep this? It doesn't really do much. It just doesn't do much. We have both our mana, though. I mean, it worked. I'm just saying, Biggie, there's a difference between worked and polished and ready to ship. I want to know what y'all think of this mulligan or keep decision. I'm gonna mulligan. I think it needs too many things, too many specific things. And unfortunately, now I feel like we have to keep this and just pray for a swamp. Because if we find a swamp, we'll be okay here. So drop this and hope for a swamp in the next 2 draws. Obviously, you'd like it next draw, but I feel like even if we miss here, if we get a swamp next draw, we can still put up a fight. All right, found land. Not a swamp, but land. At least we're up a game, so we have a foul to give here in this match at least. Swamp, 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 swamp. Right now, swamp. All right, giving us a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Now we're in a spot where it doesn't really matter what this is, but a 3-1 given no other options. Like if all of these were gone, we would much rather have a 3-1 here. But thankfully, we have enough other things to do. I'm going to play the vampire and hope it survives to trade with theirs, but we'll see. We'll see. Uh-oh. Looks like they got a response. No? Can't do 2 spells, unfortunately, because literally everything we've got requires some black. So we're really just trying to trade Plague White for Grudian here. And we would consider Plague White for Grandma if they offer it, but we're at 1923. If they just want to send Grandma, we probably take it and see if we can't find a way out of this without making that particular trade. But I like this trade, okay? Alright, I was wondering if it, like, I didn't say it, but like the pause made me think they did Sentinel's Mark math and realized the vampire would not survive. So now we probably just final payment it. But we can start with a Carrion Imp, gain a couple life, take 1 more hit from the Grudian, and then get rid of it. See if the Oligarch attacks now. Interesting. So the Oligarch wants to rumble. This makes me want to take 5 and replay this next turn with final payment available. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to say no. Yeah, it feels like Blade Brand. And they're mana starved. So I'm going to try that play. Sure wish we found some land too, though. Yes, Kaya just counts exiled cards, not exiled by Kaya. Well, that's annoying for a completely different reason. I think I'm going to offer Imp for Grandma. That's unfortunate. I still think they have Blade Brand. We're going to do that. And then we're going to take 5 to end the Grudian now. Okay, now I'd really like Kaya to be a 3-1. Kaya not doing much here. And I hate IGI onto a empty board like this, but Plague White doesn't really do anything yet. Maybe we play Kaya as a distraction. Basically, it becomes a big life gain spell because we'd gain, you know, we'd gain 2 and then another 4 when they kill Kaya. Whereas if we play IGI, yeah, we could Kaya, kill token, and then lose it. I'm kind of with Biggie, though. I think I'm just walking it through and making sure. And yes, we could Kaya but it'd be better to do that when we're actually a little more stable. So yeah, I'm with Biggie. We're gonna IGI and see about finding our way out of it next turn. Yeah, sometimes playing to survive is playing to win, though, Biggie. I mean, you can't just... It's easy to say that, but you gotta look at all... You know, we gotta look at the line and make sure there's not a line in which the time that Kaya buys us does give us the best chance to win. I mean, both plays do very little. Like, if this game ends... Here's the thing, Biggie. If this game ends in 2 turns, Kaya would have done more than this IGI is going to do, though, right? So if we're just going to be dead, then Kaya gives us more draws than the IGI does. That's not what we wanted, and that was probably our last shot. Now Plague White needs to chump. Kaya is still an option now, but now I think we get our most life savings out of the white chump. Yeah, you knew it. 100% we were going to get a land when it was... a little too far from mattering. What can we do? Let's see. If we throw, we go to 5 on the IGI, go to 4 on the... Or no, if we throw, we go to 8, then we go to 7, and we can take the scavenger to block the token, but then we just... Then what? Then we Kaya to try and get some life back. Or we have... yeah, let's Thrall to drain for right now. And then we'll block the token. And Bedeck plus Thrall can trade for the scavenger while Kaya gets us a little life back. But we need another swamp off the top. Yeah, there's the Blade brand we were playing around way earlier. But we can't play around anything now, so... You're too late, land. You're too late. We can chump with the Racketeers and not die, but that's all we've got here. Or we could Kaya for how much total life? They can just ignore Kaya, so we go to 5 and still die. So yeah, we got our Racketeers. I think we're done in this one. That would be a yup. We had chumps there, but we were effectively dead. Yeah, it was a few blocks. Maybe I should have stayed around to block, but we didn't have that. I should have blocked, though. I should have stayed around to block. I had more time than I should have scooped to. Let's put the daylight in, and yeah, I screwed that up. I should have stayed and played that out. That was weak. That was a weak will right there. What did I want to cut? Let's cut the Racketeers for that expose. 10-7. I don't know about 10-7 when we got Grandma and Kaya and all of this. I mean, we just have the one black spell that, and we happen to get heavy white there. Like, I don't think we should respond to that result with a change of the mana. Are we bringing anything else in, though? I got one expose. We could bring a second expose in. I'm going to start with one until they show us more. We've seen 2 games and we only saw the one. You like revival for just additional. What are we bringing back? We're happy to bring back, like, Oligarch, Plague White, Orator. I disagree. I don't think there's enough that we like to bring that in. I'm just gonna go with this. I think we'll run this out. All right, come on, let's get to the gems. We've had some good runs. If we lose this match and go gemless, besides the grind, so be it. But would love to pick up another 800 here with this win. Yeah, we'll keep that. Hope for a plains soon. Syrinx, glad you could join us today. We'll see you next time. All right. I would like a plains, but please, any land, any land. Let's trigger this juggler at least. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, deck. Work with me a little bit. Let's get this one. Pretty much need a land coming up here if they do anything of significance here. Okay, we are in business. And don't even need to show them the planes yet. We'll just tack in. Well, you do prevent the juggler, but that's a pretty, that's a play I'm happy with. Maybe they need the juggler and are making sure they have stuff in the air. Let's actually put the Pegasus out. Oh, I don't think I did all the codes. How long are those codes good for? I don't really care, but I should do it. I'm enough of a value hound that I'll take free cosmetics as an option. I did some of them as I was watching the broadcast. Yeah, maybe they're all still active. Got more land, that's great, and all of our attacks are reasonable. They could have a Blade Brand for the Pegasus, but we could live with that. Nothing to remove it with or anything. It's just something we accept if it happens. Oppo sure willing to throw away a lot of cards for tokens to the Plague White. We could juggle here. We could also just carry an imp here. And I like that, actually. Gets rid of some of their graveyard, gets us some life. We'll be able to activate the juggler in due time. Thank you, Boris, for the list of codes. Appreciate that. One white, so we do not get 2 white spells this turn. Trying to decide if we are marking main, and I'm going to say no. We will use mark as a potential combat trick here. If they try to do... Maybe we'll leave the Pegasus back and just send in the imp. I like that. They might triple block, in which case we can really get them. Nope. So instead we cast Juggler on 3 and hope to find land. We did. Doesn't allow us to get the Oligarch. I could have played for the Plains and left a swamp up, but I'm okay with this. We have Sentinel's Mark as a combat trick available now. Yeah, Dead Revel seems like where they're probably heading with that, which is why I liked, you know, putting the imp now to reduce the number of cards in their graveyard so they don't just get both of them back. We're happy to see the Juggler go here because we have Dead Revels. Pull it back. All right, Biggie, enough. I've said I like it in the Orzhov matchup. There's no... But are you... It's funny how silent you go when it's when Kaya is freaking terrible. I didn't hear one peep from you when Kaya was obviously awful that last time. It's not 100% of the matchups. Come on. Be real. It's overrepresented on Arena relative to paper, but it is not nearly that. Looks like they're activating a Juggler here. Mark is +1/+2, so it doesn't allow the Plague White to survive the Racketeers. It would allow the Pegasus to survive the Racketeers, though. That's interesting. Let's do that. Blade Brand is somewhat of a blowout, but I like what's going on in her hand, so I'm going to take that line. Juggy? Grudian. Don't really care about the Grudian too much. Although it does make the battlement a lot worse. But we'll see if we can get it traded off before that is relevant. And attack with everything here. Pegasus with Vigilance is nice. Alright. Grudian's willing to trade off right away, which makes our battlement better again. But I'm going to start with Orator and Oligarch, and then we will battlement next turn. This feels kind of Blade Brandy, but I'd rather have them haha me with Blade Brand here than with the battlement. So we'll trigger their Blade Brand or start picking off 1/1s. IGI, we meet again. All right. I think we leave Imp back to deal with the flyers now that the Blade Brand is gone, and then we try to battlement Grandma and the Orator. What are we in Revels? We have yeah, we have some Revels options. All right, Messenger is a fantastic draw, given how Oppo is trying to approach this. I get it. I mean, they have lifelink here, you know, so they got a lot of tools behind this IGI to try and race us. We just got to hope our tools are better over the long haul here, if we can make a long haul. I don't think going wide with a 2-1 is better. There's an argument for having left the Orator around to get life as we play stuff. Let's see, do we want... If we do this, we get back... I like blocking with the Imp. Well, no. I was going to let the Imp die so we could get it back, but that's a little too much Fancy Play Syndrome. We should just do this. Final payment. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we play white, final payment, and win. That seems good. Sorry, just had to process. But I think we got them. Yeah, because there are no cards in hand, so we just got them. That's great. Nice. We did it, chat. 2 wins. Give me them gems. And even if we don't get a third, like, part of just making it even partway is that the gold grind we do that turns into entries into best of 1, which turns into gems, is the kind of stuff that also makes up for these gaps when you don't quite 3-1 or whatever. You'll get those 3-1s. Yeah, I guess I should have paid 5 life simply because it would have taken less time. Peace is right. Because we knew we had the win because there was no cards in hand. All right. Love it when we get to 3 wins. Oh, 3 wins is the best. It's better than 4 and 5 wins. That's not true, but it feels really good. Feels so good to get that buy-in back. No 2s, but we're going to keep. At least this one has 3s. Like the one I threw back in the last game Wasn't doing anything until like turn 4, and it still needed land to accomplish that. Speaking of land. Shut up, Biggie, I don't want to hear it, he says, looking at the Orzhov matchup across the way. You did say it. That's why I had to tell you to shut up. You said it so psychically powerfully, I could feel it from here. They're just going to block it on when we attack, so I might as well take the trade now. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get this Blade Juggler active, but it's not going to happen, so I'm not going to pretend like it is. Extra land. Fantastic. Drop this messenger, and hopefully it can get the Juggler through, or maybe we just draw a Plains naturally and play the Racketeers. Anything for 1 in the deck? No, so it doesn't matter what we leave, whether we leave a swamp or the plains. Hey, K-Cat. Yeah, we are 4 for 4 in Orzhov Mirrors so far in this event. I'm going to go for a final payment infiltrator play, I think. Or we could just attack with a Juggler, make a Racketeers, and try to get that through next turn, but then they probably just leave that back. The final payment play just allows us to get a good attack in here, which I really like, so I think I'm going to do that. While still adding to the board as well. Unusual. Let's go up top here. We had played land already the turn. We didn't even have a land to play, I don't think. If I'm wrong, then yes, I should have. I thought we had already played played our land, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Can't remember now. We could give up a Juggler to get in with the Infiltrator. And then we're attacking with a lot in the air. Yeah, I think we're doing enough in the air that we should do that. Oh, why didn't I attack with that then? Ugh, sorry, chat. Playing and chatting is difficult. But that was just a straight up punt. Oppo should be at 8. No blocks on that. Vampire and Juggler are available for the Dead Revels. And we'll send in the Thrall, I think. I don't want them to not block. I don't think they'll not block, will they? And let's see, Messenger. I could also send in the Messenger and let him eat that. Or I could Blood Mist the Messenger. It would create a token for chumping and ensure the Revels happens. Yeah, that's a little weird, but since the messenger can't get through, I think I kind of like that. Is that weird? Is that a weird line? I'm gonna try it, I think. They don't have any lifelink going right now. And that's what I was hoping would happen, because now we get a nice cheap Dead Revels, and we get some good stuff back. Including Grasping Thrall, and I can get the Messenger to stay up in the air, or we get the Juggler and add the Juggler. We get the Messenger. Juggler gets us a card, but what I want is fodder to make this Infiltrator go all the way if we can. You get that again. Actually, Orator into Racketeers. Sacrificing that is going to get us a bunch of life and really help us with this race. And actually, this should just get them, right? See if they've got responses in hand. They've got 8 mana and 3 cards, but I guess it's enough. All right. Infiltrator did some work there. So I just want it recognized that here's the challenge with cards like Kaya. In evaluating their net, it's like we saw Kaya do a bunch of great work, and she's going to stay in the deck because she's in particular good at Orzhov. But you do just it's easier with swingy cards to disregard or forget how the floor side, the worst case scenario for something like Kaya, pulls the overall value down. But she was a really bright spot in the Orzhov matchup so far, so we're definitely keeping her in. Just pointing out, though, that it's easy to get high on the high, harder to temper it with a realistic look at what the worst case scenario represents to your win percentage as well. Did we see an IGI there? I would just assume we want to expose against Orzhov, but I guess I want to see it before I bring it in. Let's cut Vamp for like a transport. Maybe another Carrion Imp. Yeah, I guess like the Carrion Imp. It's always such a game of Dead Revels control. I think another Carrion Imp is good. Blade Brand, not bad also. I think I'll go with this, though. I think that's a fine statement, King Biggie. I think it's close, but you may be right. Maybe it's correct on Arena, because there is definitely more Orzhov, but I'm curious what you think on that, Biggie. Is it different for you, Arena versus Paper, or do you feel the same way in Paper? That you're going to main deck Kaya in your Paper Orzhov? Orator lets us start gaining life. Plague White gives us a legit shot at activating the Juggler, but Pegasus may attack anyway, in which case the Orator might also. I'm going to go with the Orator play. If we don't get Juggler out next turn because of it, then we have Plague White, and it's not that bad. Now, if we don't lead with the white and they take the trade with the Grudian, then we don't get our juggler. But I'm totally fine if they want to trade Grudian for Orator, so we'll offer it. And then follow with the white. More juggles. Happy to drop the other planes now. It's not like we have gates that we're going to draw off of jugglers and nothing to worry about there. Yep. Just making sure we didn't want to do something like Dead Revels, but of course not. We only have one card in the yard. It's not a very good one. Kind of depends on what kind of Azorius deck it is. If it's like a Clear the Mind, go super long, then yeah, I like it. But if it's... Azorius can definitely have the aggro skies draw/build, and if it's that, then I'm less interested. Here, I want to send in the white. If we juggle leaving a plains, then any land lets us at least play the Pegasus, and if we get a swamp, we can play Grandma instead. No such luck. With the blue-white, I'm not super interested in battlement exiling a bunch of stuff, except that we have final payment, so if they do that, we can maybe even instant speed bring a bunch of stuff back. So actually I will commit to that if we can get there. How do we want to manage? We're kind of doing okay in this race. Yeah, especially if they want to do that. Let's go Oligarch Revels. Excuse me. Something in my mouth. Wait, make sure I have the count right. Yeah, 2 jugglers in there. We'll juggle for... We'll revel for juggle. Let's see. We have shields down. So there's a lot we could do here. We can demise Pegasus. We can Racketeers. We can demise Payment. They are looking to prevent us from getting in to trigger juggles. That makes some sense. But it really just makes me want to kind of like play the Racketeers and have a Payment demise type setup next turn that could be really powerful. I'm going to do that. Let's cast Racketeers with shields down and see about making next attack really difficult for Oppo to manage. Well, that helps him, but I guess we can demise the giant. Yeah, I think we definitely want to demise the giant, and then we think about the scavenger. I guess if we final payment the scavenger, then they're in a bad spot with that Racketeers. Like they have to, kind of have to block the Racketeers. I like that, and then I think we have so much gasoline with the rest of the hand that we get to take over from here. Grandma can't really even attack through the scavenger anyway. Or actually probably just gets, eventually, you know, maybe that gives them an easy play. But we are in enough of a life situation. I'm gonna take out Grandma because I think our long game is really strong. that was enough for them anyway. I did it because apparently, Rob, if you take my line, Oppo scoops immediately, so I don't, scoreboard. No, yeah, the white was a safe attack. I just felt like we wanted to, I liked the idea of getting rid of the 3-power creature and then having this 3/2 that really, they can't really let him connect. They can't really let that 3/2 connect. And so then they have to chump the 3/2 and they take 4 from the other side. It just felt like pressure they couldn't overcome, and certainly Oppo apparently agreed. And we did it, chat. We're at profit. And let's see, can I use a break? No, I'm actually doing okay. I could use a replacement beverage, but I think if I have another handful of nuts and berries, we'll be good to go. Don't do it, Oppo. All right, it's a new deck. Look, it's Rakdos. We're also happy to have Kaya, actually, so that's good. Send in the white. Probably trades, I would snap trade Maka for white. That means they have a super aggressive hand. I mean, this is an aggressive start. But we'll throw this out, see what they do about it. I don't like 1 toughness against Rakdos. They have a lot of ways to ping. A little more than a ping. Similar result. Flooding out here is not great. With the Bedeck, you could say I should play a Swamp to be able to play multiple spells, but we are going to actually just use the Bedeck, so it doesn't really matter. Double Ds. You got it. Good luck. I'm sure you'll crush. Yeah, this is super sad. But I'm going to do this while they're tapped. I guess maybe I should wait. There's nothing really red-black is going to do to interfere with Bedeck, and there are some possibilities that they would do before combat. So I'm going to wait. We didn't telegraph anything with that 10-year pause. Do we block that? It really is just likely to come back. I'm going to say no. I know we're at 14. This is going to 12. Maybe they play a juggler or something. But I can't bring myself to do it when we have so many creature answers that could get the job done. I see, deck. Now do we need to Bedeck plus white for the 4/4? Probably not. We probably just need to hope that the 4/4. Fine. Now we have to use the Bedeck on the Maka, or in the Fireblade Artist. Well, we supposedly like Kaya in this matchup, but neither Kaya nor the 3/1 are going to do much for us here. Let's not show them. We play this, we exile 2, go to 6, and then they can just attack us for the win, so there's no need to show them Kaya. Alright, lowdown, aggro, Rakdos. What are we doing to defend? Bringing in... Getting out, like Racketeers. Bringing in Carrion Imp. He gains life and is a decent blocker. Anything else? Not sure I cut anything else here. Yeah, maybe IGI is a cut. But then what? For like another infiltrator? Just a body? We actually play the Thirsting Shade. I mean, it does some reasonable... Generally, we're going to have to activate it. It's like, we could look at it as a 4 mana cost to try and trade with a 2-power creature. Might be the matchup for it. Should we give it a try? I didn't think I'd ever play it. But we don't have a bear. I mean, we could play Trumpeter. Doesn't feel great. I'm going to do it. For science, we're going to play one. Here I am, playing the hated 1-drop. But I do think it actually has... What I'm hoping it does is activates once to trade with something of 2 power. That's all I want it to do. Then it's done its job. Yeah, maybe it was probably Fancy Play Syndrome overall to take out IGI and put in the Shade, but I had reasons. It wasn't just completely made up. Hey, Banana Jack. Am I going to watch Avengers Endgame? Is that a movie? Is that the next Avengers movie? If so, sure. I've been watching all that stuff. My kids love it, so it tends to be a family outing to go do that. I could demise that. We don't want to use a demise on a Maka. We'll go ahead and offer Grandma for it. Infinity War spoilers, I will say that my problem... Infinity Wars was... I was very entertained, but I felt some of the emotional impact of all of that death was lost, because it just felt like, well, it's not real then. Like, all these characters aren't actually dying, so this is really just a setup to how it all turns out all right, you know? So now they're not looking to... Still don't want to trade with the Maka. I'm going to use up my mana here and exile the creature that the Imp can't deal with. I mean, if they keep all of everybody that died in that movie dead, then they get to join, you know, what's his name? The Game of Thrones author for violence against characters awards. No life out of this play, but we'll still take it. Still make it. So yeah, the emotional weight of all the death wasn't as great for me because it just made it all not matter in my mind. But I felt like there was some death in the movie that occurred before Thanos' thing happens, and so maybe I'm kind of expecting that some of the death, the pre-Thanos death, will be permanent. Like what's her name from the Green Lady? Yeah, you're not gonna block. Gamora, thank you, Banana Jack. Terrible with names. I think we're going to keep trying to race here. Like, Gamora should not come back. Like, the emotional weight of her death was really powerful and important, and I think it would be actively bad for her to somehow come back. We will go ahead and get rid of this and sack this. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, nobody's dead, right? They're just off somewhere. That'll be the thing. Well, now we're behind in the race. Flooding a little bit here. Gonna just attack with the flyer we're not gonna block with, and we'll see if the imp can hold back these 2/2s. All right. Now, since they couldn't do anything about the imp, I could leave... Wow, this is interesting. We're going to attack with both and assume that the battlement can get it done on the ground. The question is, do we turn the battlement into a 6/7 for... Like, how does black-red... I definitely think we take the 1/1 off, but we probably just leave the 2/3 flying away up above doing its thing, right? I think that makes some sense. Or is it non-token? Non-token. Okay, then since it's non-token, I am going to go ahead and exile the imp. Because the imp's an ETB, yes, it's not a cast trigger. And when it does ETB, we get to gain life off of its effect, assuming they have dead things, so yeah. That's a good draw. That's a good draw. Wow, that's a great draw, although they can't death touch it right now. I can't even do the math anymore. I'm just going to play the spells and hope. I mean, I could do the math, but I don't think it's going to... It's not even super relevant to do the math. That's great. And I'll play the planes. Maybe I need to play the planes. That's right. Well... Spewer, you say? Well, that Thrall is going to maybe make a big difference in what we can do here. The battlement's going to give up the ghost to the Hackerbat, and that's okay. Let's see. You control dies. Okay, that's good. Hey, Oni, what up? Hey, Oni, you should ask chat for some ideas on those last things that we were talking about, especially if anybody here in chat might end up being the type of person who might earn such a reward someday, you know what I'm saying? Oni is finishing up some graphics work for my stream, including emotes and whatnot. He is the one who created all the emotes y'all are enjoying today. And we have some space for big premium sub donators, you know. Let's get rid of the hacker bat. We don't want more death touch. And throw it up. Really, we have one slot, because the one you've already chosen, Oni, is thumbs up. And it's kind of funny. We have a, I don't know if... I don't know if he's still here, but we had a viewer, King Biggie, who's been active in chat all day, which I thought was very funny that he showed up the day after we talked yesterday, Oni. Biggie himself is here with us. Okay, we're just gonna swing away and see if we get there. Hey, King Biggie. All right, I love that their thrash was that had that weaken of an effect. Yeah, these are, this is new. Well, I'm gonna block. Even if they kill it, we still represent lethal and they have to use their IGI. And I don't want to, well... No, I guess, is this maybe them trying to... Yeah, I was playing around the juggler, but we let him do this. We don't want... well, this doesn't kill the vampire, so that doesn't matter either, right? Yeah, we can block. Do we need to leave anything back? No, if we have to chump with the orator, we can. So I'm just going to keep swinging. Haste would have gotten us, but I guess I just was willing to risk the... maybe we should have kept something back, because haste would have gotten us, and we have overkill up top. Let Ben Stark hold something back there. But we got one back, and are going to game 3, looking for extra profit. Any changes? Do we see anything for... expose? We did see an IGI there, right? So we could bring in an expose. I'm going to start with just one. Again, looking at the big stuff. These were great. All the flyers did the work we were hoping for. Maybe Sentinel's Mark. Or maybe let's get rid of the shade. And maybe even put our IGI back in. And get rid of the Sentinel's Mark. Kind of like that. Let me try this. Sentinel's Mark would be good. I think it has good applications here, but I think it was the least important tool in that toolbox. I did have Thirsting Shade in my deck. It never showed up, and now it's gone. Here's what it was considering replacing. Opponent kept 7. Can we find black in time to be happy with this? We have an Exposed to Daylight, which is only good if they curve out into the IGI, in which case we're thrilled to have it, but it might be frustrating to have as a deadish card. If we stumble, we're dead. If they don't stumble and we do, we're kind of dead in this matchup. But that Lumbering Battlement is so good in the matchup. Oni wants to mull. Anybody else? Any opinions? I think we might. I think Oni's right and Biggie are right that we're just too. A lot of times you can keep a hand like this because you're like, well, if we stumble a little bit, we can still recover by blah. But against Rakdos, you really can't. Man, I'm feeling my old manness today. Did a lot of walking yesterday. Took the bus down to kind of the north end of Seattle's downtown, and then I don't know if there's a what's better turn 2. I think we'll go with the thing that if it dies, at least creates another threat. Just feeling very sore today after a ton of walking. Now reward me with the Juggler. No juggles, but a card we're happy to draw in the face of Rakdos. We'll play this and look to trade off. Carnival! Boo! What a great draw for Oppo, or what a great spell for Oppo to have. White and Messenger both trade with Roustabout. I'll play the Messenger. I'll happily trade. We don't need the Lumbering Battlement to be huge to be good. So if we play the Battlement as a 4/5 Vigilance for 5, that's cool too. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I think our hand is well suited to what's going on here if they don't have anything super significant there. I'll just Battlement now. Was considering saving it after Revels, but I'd rather Battlement. Next turn we could end up Revels, Plague White, and Oligarch all on the same turn. Well, now we may have to... Yeah, of course we ditch the white. Still in a decent spot. I want the Vampire for life and messenger for the air. If we can connect with the vampire, either trading or just hitting them in the face, I think we really give ourselves a good chance at winning this from here. But still a lot they could have, both off the top and right in hand. We'll see. Okay, great. So they get to trade the battlement here if they want, but we're happy with that trade, and we get carrying him to follow, and the vampire gets to get... Yeah, this is all good. We're just going to swing in, keep attacking with everything, and try to get them dead before they can get us dead. See how they want to do this. Sure, that makes sense. Makes some sense anyway. Trade with your small one. All right. Ooh, I was gonna say, vampire's helpful for them, but that really just says we don't care. So let's get rid of the vamp. Well, let's make him double block, because they're gonna chump anyway on the ground, and if they double block, we can final payment and really get them. Okay, they're just chumping. Interesting. Maybe they have something like Rakdos, excuse me, and the imp would survive in that case. I'm going to play the messenger. And then I think we're only even threatened by something like Rakdos. Yeah, I think we have them in that same spot. They're gonna have to inherit. Did it have trample or anything? What would that have done for us? Maybe I don't follow your line east or how that would have been better for us, but I thought it was fine for us that they chumped. Now we could just let it happen. Now they have to... block. Yeah, okay, now they're doing it. And I'm just going to take a life payment here. Oh, yeah. I mean, we could have... I guess I wasn't worried about the drain either. I was kind of happy with the result. But... I suppose nothing else happened, between now and then to the vampire. Like, we didn't get any benefit by waiting, so you're probably right. Yeah, if we were sure, we were going to do it anyway. So... But I didn't ask myself that question, is the thing. And I'll play around Kaya's Wrath. If they get out of this with something like that, I want to be able to have a couple of threats in hand. We did it, gang. 4 wins. Extra profit. Nice start to the week, even if we lose the next one. You kind of get some free magic. If we had lost, it would be perfect. It's noon. I'd wrap up the stream, but how can I not play our final match. Yeah, Cry could have helped. Yeah, we'll keep this. We got Plague White and Bedeck with the mana we already have, and we're one white source away from unlocking the rest of the hand. And we have no white spells in the deck, so we just need the one planes to get going. And there it is! Alright, and we've got another one. No Fairy Duelist and no Quench based on that response. Leading on the high alert. Well, that's intimidating. I could play the Pegasus to add pressure, but let's just get Kaya ticking up.
I like a good fight. Bye-bye. Notice I didn't say fair.
Okay. Not sure what's going on here, but play the Pegasus. Try to. Alright, consider it collapsed. Give me some Revels targets. Are they worth it? Probably better than doing nothing, or even holding up the,
Funny, that's what I do.
the Bedeck, so I'll use it. Oh, these are pretty weak creatures, but definitely the Vamp, and then I'm trying to figure out if we want to be up in the air. I think they're going to win the air, though. I'm going to take the Orator. Maybe I wasn't even supposed to cast that. It was pretty weak, but it's still a 2-for-1.
I'm really good at banishing things.
Right. They're not very exciting spells, but I'm casting stuff, right? Ooh, those are some exciting spells that hit the bin. Maybe we'll find our other Dead Revels and get some of that action back. No. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna cast this pre in case the Orator dies during combat. And I'm not really playing around what Oppo is doing. We're just, geez, hoping our bears get there while they counter our other stuff. Ah! Sorry, hasty clicking. I click. I clicked 3 times, but only one of the first 2 clicks registered. I could bedazzle the plaza, but let's just bedeck the old thrall. Wait. 2 cards in exile, not enough to finish them off, so we'll go ahead and plus.
Pack your bags and hit the road.
Doing all right. Are they going to recover? Ooh, I like that our enchantment removal is instant speed, so we may be able to get high alert mid-combat. That'd be fun. Now I think we just get them. And there's not much they can do.
Feel the pain of every outcast thing.
All right, that's 2 Kaya wins. That's hard to deny. Again, when she's great, she's very good. When she's good, she's great. You know what I mean? Let's see. We're facing Azorius. We want to bring in, I'm going to say at least 2 of these for now, if not 3. So much of their removal is enchantment based as well. We could almost bring in 3. I'm going to get rid of the vampire. And the racketeers always seem to be an early cut when we're making cuts. We could put Imp in and add to the Air Force, but the trouble is these tend to get outclassed in the air by Azorius pretty quickly, so I'm not super interested. In fact, we probably just want a Blade Brand over... Like, Blade Brand and Sentinel's Mark are interesting ways to win the air that I kind of like to try. But what am I cutting if we do that? We could cut the Infiltrator. Or the Orator. I cut the Infiltrator. Try this. Not a keeper. Much better. Not great, but much better. We're gonna ditch the planes looking for some action. No action yet, but how about a grandma off the top? Not a grandma, and they are showing capture mana, but we're gonna try. All right. Now they're showing Thought Collapse mana, which makes me not even want to try Kaya. They showed multiple Thought Collapses. I'm just going to pass. Make him do something. Yeah, like that. And I think I'm just going to destroy it. And Kaya it away.
Ooh, that's a good fight. Be gone, say fair.
And a little more action here, then we should be okay, but... Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Still thinking we're going to get Thought Collapsed, but... we can at least get it back later with the Rebels. Oh, really? They don't even have Thought Collapse. We are in a great spot then.
I hope you've said your goodbyes already.
Sentinel's Mark will let us mess with that Thrall nicely. No matter how they block. Ooh, change of plans. We're just going to do this. Doesn't mean we can't really get these through. Let's see, do we want to apply... I'm going to save the Mark as a combat trick. I know we could play it right now, get some life gain or whatever.
I hope you said your goodbyes
But
already.
I think it's going to be valuable to us as a combat trick, so I'm going to treat it as such for right now. Prying Eyes is going to help make Kaya very good, actually, because they have to put 2 more in the yard that she gets to exile. And they've tapped out on their own turn. So we're going to get Juggler. Yeah, this is great for us. This is just like everything we want coming true. There's an Expose for later. Maybe. I liked keeping all of our creatures around to be this constant threat of pressure. That was my thinking. That we just want to keep control of this board and it'll all go our way from here. Don't worry, I'm fluent in autocorrect. X of 2. Alright. As far as mass manipulations go, we could do a lot worse.
I hope you said your goodbyes already.
Let's see now. We can... Sentinel's Mark. Let's send with everything. Oh, did I screw up? Let's see. Win. Oh yeah, Sentinel's Mark. I didn't look at the numbers. I've talked about this as one of my leaks. Where I get obsessed with board control instead of actually just looking for the darn win. But with full control, we can still do it. Look at this, gang. Wow. Must be my week. Monday 5-1, Tuesday 5-1. Easy game. $2,100 in gems, 6 prize packs. Let's count up the gem grind. There's 20. Mythic. $40. Wild card, which is effectively close helping us finish out this set. There's another 20. So that's... I lost count. Is that 60 grind out of these packs so far, right? A mythic wild card, a mythic, and 3 20s, right? So 80 total ground from those packs, which I add to the grind count in the spreadsheet so that we track all of our grind. So that was a 140 ground. Oh, wait. No. That was yesterday. We had 100 there, so 80 more is 180 for the grind today, right? Yep. And this all is identical. We'll go look at the collection in a second here. No. There we go. And that was straight black, white. And... try Kaya. All right, Kaya, you impressed me. Good work. $780 gem profit.